What's up, all my fellow financial junkies? Thanks for tuning into the channel. It's Boris here, you guys, and we're here to talk about all facets of finance. We talk about equities, derivatives, real estate, all facets of finance. Whether you're interested to hear about macro and microeconomics, you guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like the content. Thanks for your support, you guys. Today's content is about an update on PHI Group, ticker symbol PHIL. All my fellow billionaires, we've been patiently awaiting the day in which we are going to become pink current. What is a billionaire, you ask? A billionaire is someone who owns millions of shares of Phil. We compassionately refer to each other as billionaires in the investor community. So if you're new to the stock, go ahead and join the ranks and become a billionaire. What's the latest and greatest with Phil, you guys? Well, our beloved CEO just tweeted today, Friday the 23rd, that next week he anticipates we're going to be entirely current, pink current, and he's going to be dropping the remaining Qs. In anticipation of the imminent filings of the remaining Qs, we will host a Zoom conference call on Wednesday, July the 28th at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time after market close, you guys. So that's phenomenal. We saw a great uptick in the price today following that tweet, you guys. And a shout out to Alina. Alina's posting on Twitter here. Now, we saw a big uptick in the share price following Henry's tweet today, but that's not to say we weren't preceded with a lot of volatility in the share price, you guys. And a lot of volatility is to be expected because you're playing in the realm of OTC. When you're playing with OTC markets, you're playing with micro caps. Micro caps in which institutional buyers can purchase a large portion of the float, buy it, sell it, drop it back, depress the price so they can acquire shares at a lower price point. It's easy for them to do so. If you're in their position, wouldn't you want to do the same? Additionally, there's been a lot of gyrations in the share price due to a couple variables. Firstly, we've fallen victim to day trading, you guys. This chart has traded very technically, you guys. We've bought at resistance, we've bought at support levels, sold off at resistance levels, and it's been very predictable, the share price. You've been able to capitalize on a lot of movement if you know how to trade the charts. And a lot of people have been taking advantage of these patterns. If you're a long-term investor and you're sitting here sweating out this price action, I'll tell you again, don't worry about it. Don't worry about the day-to-day P&L, you guys. I know a lot of people have allocated a large portion of their portfolios to this position, me as well. And when I see these big swings in P&L, you guys, I don't sweat it, you guys. I know the fundamentals in the greater company have not changed. Additionally, a big portion of the FUD, you guys, is the delays in becoming pink current, you guys. A lot of people are concerned about the delays in getting pink current because they know Henry's passed and multiple delays, and now we're up against the deadline. There is a new SEC rule for OTC markets, which I'll touch on in just a moment, you guys. But just know that that rule has set a deadline. We need to become pink current by August 13th, you guys. The rule goes into effect in September, but we need to be ahead of the curve, you guys. So I'll touch on the OTC rule in a moment, you guys. But however, before I jump into this, I just want to state this, you guys. If you guys are concerned about Henry's past and all the multiple history of delays, you guys, just know this, you guys. Henry is a serial entrepreneur, you guys. There's no doubt he has a past of starting many companies, some more successful ventures than others. Some have minimal revenues, some have no revenues. There's no hiding that fact, you guys. However, to become a success, people only remember you up until your last success, you guys. You can have been a failure hundreds of times, and people will only know that you're a success once you're a success the last time, you guys. It only takes once to hit it big, you guys. And then Henry's success will be, and then Henry's failures will quickly be forgotten, you guys. If you're really concerned about Henry's past, then you're missing one crucial thing. You're missing Philux. Philux is a paradigm shift, you guys. The partnerships with Ben Carl Schmidt, the structuring agent, the partnerships with the Vietnamese government in which Vietnam is taking an ownership stake in the various infrastructure developments and real estate developments in Vietnam. If your partner is the government is going to ensure everything possible to ensure your success. They're going to throw tax breaks at you. They're going to give you sweetheart deals. They're going to do whatever it takes to ensure your venture is a success because they own an ownership stake in your venture. Now to touch on SEC 15C211. The SEC recently filed an amendment to rules pertaining to OTC markets. The SEC has seen an influx of retail investors trading stocks. During COVID, a lot of people were sitting at home, receiving checks from the government and not going to work, so they started trading stocks, you guys. As a result, we've seen a great influx of retail investors speculating in OTC markets. In response to this, the SEC felt obligated to bring more transparency to to OTC markets. There's less transparency, less companies are pink current and reporting their financials on the OTC markets than they are on the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange, you guys. So the SEC felt obligated to bring more transparency and level the playing field for retail investors. So as of September, all companies listed on the OTC marketplace are required to be entirely current on their financials and become pink current. Anyone who's not current by September will be delisted from the OTC markets, you guys. A lot of people received letters from their brokerages if they held companies in OTC markets, including myself, including shareholders of Phil, you guys. Here's a letter I received from TD Ameritrade, you guys. It states here that if Phil, this relates to all OTC companies, but it states here that if Phil is not current by September 28th, then they're in danger of being delisted. It says here the new amendment adopted by the SEC goes into effect to enhance investor protections and improved issuer transparency. So it says here that as of August 13th, they're going to stop accepting new buyers and only liquidate positions as of August 13th. So basically they're stating that if Henry and PHI Group is not entirely pink current by August 13th, then TD Ameritrade and many other brokerages ahead of September, effective in August, they're going to start limiting new buy orders and only allow sell orders of any company that's not entirely pink current, you guys. So that was the letter we all received from our brokerages. In response to that, Henry did tweet, and here it is on July 12th, coinciding with the July 13th letter. Dear valued shareholders, we have received inquiries about broker notifications saying we will not allow purchasing of certain securities as of August 13th. We plan to file the remaining 10 Qs with the SEC in a matter of days to be current. This should not be a concern. Let's take it to the charts. The charts never lie, you guys. So we've been speaking about this stock since sub pennies, you guys. I first made a video about this company when we were trading at the 0.0025, 0.003 levels over here on the far left, you guys. And since we first started talking about this stock, we've had a tremendous upside, you guys. We traded as high as 2 pennies. Our all-time high was 1.98 cents, you guys. Almost 2 pennies, you guys. And like I stated previously, this chart has really traded technically, you guys. And if you're a technical trader, you've had great opportunities to swing trade the stock and make great upside potential, further maximizing your gains, you guys. However, myself and many other investors, we're in this in the long term. We're not swing trading this. We're holding our position, you guys. I'm very much a technical trader. I love to trade. However, for this position, I've made a decision that I will be incurring long-term capital gains tax, you guys. I'm not going to be selling this position for at least 12 months is my holding time. At least, probably longer, probably much longer, you guys. Like I stated, I am a Phillionaire, you guys, and I'm holding this. I'm hodling my shares. So anyway, back to the charts. So this chart has traded very technically, and I've identified the different support and resistance levels. So when we hit 2 pennies, we had sold off. Big sell-off here, profit taking at 2 pennies. Then we established a support level at 0.09, 9/10 of a cent, you guys. And then once we established that support level, then we established a resistance level at 1.5, in that range of 1.4 to 1.5 cents was our resistance level, you guys. So we established 0.9 support, 1.5 resistance, you guys. And then we've been trading in this channel ever since. We kind of traded outside of this channel in this area over here, but then we had a big volume candle right here where we traded right back into this level here, you guys. This candle here was coincided with the tweet from Henry, you guys. Let me actually go back to Twitter, you guys. This candle coincided, let me find the tweet, with July 7th. This big red candle, excuse me, this big green candle on July 7th coincided with the tweet from Henry on July 7th stating that he's working on the multi-commodities exchange and the diamond exchange, and he's having good discussions with different governmental officials towards moving forward with the Asia Diamond Exchange and the multi-commodity exchange. So this tweet, you see this big green candle coincided with that tweet from Henry on July 7th. then we broke out of that little holding period here, and we broke back into this channel here. So now we're trading back in the channel. The channel, once again, ranges from resistance at 1.5 and support at 0.9, you guys. So now we're back in the channel. Once again, we traded up to the top of the channel at 1.5. We did not break above that channel. So once again, what happens is when you test the top of a channel and you don't break above, you trade back down to the bottom of the channel. This is very technical trading, you guys. This is to be expected, you guys. This technical trading also coincided with a lot of different variables. Like I previously mentioned, there's FUD surrounding the delays, you guys. So we traded back down to the bottom of the channel, 0.9, you guys, and we touched that, basically, we touched that level at resistance. So this has been very predictable trade, you guys. Support at 0.9, resistance at 1.5, and we've been trading in that channel. And the different events surrounding the FUD have basically set the stage for this activity, you guys. Now, one of the things I forgot to mention I want to touch on is the volume. If you guys look here, this portion of the chart here is the volume candles. Now, when we saw the great run up in price, we saw a lot of volume come into the stock. We saw days in which we had 800 million shares, 1.3 billion shares, 1 billion shares, and here averaging about 500 million shares. This is the average during this great run up. However, in the last couple of weeks, we've seen the volume really dry up. Here we see volume of 1 million. Here we see volume 600,000 shares. This big candle is only 2.5 million shares. In the last couple of weeks, to reiterate, we've seen volume really dry up. However, we've seen a lot of volatility in the price. Now, the question I pose to you guys is, how could we see so much volatility in the price where we see 3 to 10% days candles? However, there's no volume behind it. How could there be so much volatility in the price with no volume behind these movements, you guys? So the question I want to pose to you guys is, do you guys believe that a large portion of the float has been already bought back and set aside, and this is no longer a portion of the float, you guys? So we set the stage, you guys. We know there's fear and certainty in that. We know the FUD surrounding the delays, surrounding Henry's pass, surrounding the SEC deadline, that we need to be current by August 13th. We know about the delays. We know about the price activity. We've seen that we have support at 0.9, resistance at 1.5. If we break above that 1.5 level, our all-time high is just in and around 2 pennies, you guys. If we break about 1.5, we're targeting 2 pennies. If we break above 2 pennies, then it's clear skies ahead, you guys. All the all-time highs. Then we probably put up some Fibonacci extensions at that point, and we revisit those price levels at a future date, you guys. What about the newest filings? What about getting pink current? Now, you know, I've stated time and time again that there's no revenues to be seen in the prior financials, you guys. The financials are not spectacular in the past. We need to disclose the financials because there's an SEC requirement in which Henry needs to speak in sequential order. He can't disclose all the most recent developments until he discloses all the prior financials, you guys. So his mouth is shut. He's got handcuffs on. He's not able to speak freely until he's entirely pink current. So that's the emphasis in becoming pink current. Not to disclose the financials. We know the financials, they aren't there. It's so that he can freely speak about all the most recent developments. Once he's able to freely speak, you guys, I'm excited to hear about the newest developments. I'm excited to hear about the multi-commodities exchange and diamond exchange. What's transpired? When is the construction of the infrastructure going to begin for the diamond exchange? What other real estate and subcompartment projects of PHILux are ongoing, you guys? I'm excited to hear about how many shares have been bought back. Now remember, Henry extended the share buybacks. The share buybacks were supposed to conclude this past month in June, and they were extended by 6 months through December. However, this extension also coincided with the increase in the amount of volume of shares to be purchased. Henry originally stated he was going to be buying 12 to 15 billion shares, which is somewhere in around 50% of the market cap, but now he extended it to the entirety of the market cap. He's basically saying he's going to buy back as much as possible. The limit is the entire market cap. Basically, there is no limit. He's committed to buying back as many shares as possible, you guys. This makes me more of a believer that he's already purchased 12 to 15 billion shares. Why would you extend it beyond 12 to 15 billion shares, beyond that number, if you hadn't already purchased 12 to 15 billion shares, you guys? So I'm excited to hear about the share buybacks. That's what everybody is really excited to hear about. I'm curious to know when he's going to be retiring the shares. I have a theory that it's one of two possibilities. He's either going to retire all the shares one time in December, and we're going to see a huge pop, or he's going to be retiring the shares in two tranches. He may be retiring one tranche of shares as soon as he's paying current, which we expect to be somewhere in the ballpark of 12 to 15 billion shares, and then he's going to retire another tranche in December. Or he may just retire this entire tranche in December. Either way, I'm very bullish on the share buybacks, and I'm excited to hear news about that. Everybody's excited to hear news about the share buybacks. He may be discussing the American Pacific Resources spinoff, the shared spinoff. He may discuss, that additionally was extended through December. He may touch on that. Another thing we're very excited to hear about is Vina Films. Vina Films has substantial revenues which has not been disclosed, but we know the revenues are there. We've verified that the company is operational, you guys. We're excited to hear about what sort of revenues and how is he financing all these other developments, such as the buybacks. How is he financing those? Where are the revenues coming from? Is Vina Films the answer to that question? He did state in previous filings that American Pacific Plastics, which is the owner of Vina Films, will eventually become a spin-off company, special dividend, similar to American Pacific Resources. So we're excited to hear that development. Is American Pacific Plastics, the owner of Vina Films, going to be spin-off as a special dividend? So that's the speculation, you guys. That's what I'm tuning in. I'm literally on the edge of my seat, you guys. This coming Wednesday, the 28th, is the major catalyst, you guys. Very much potential to see breaking out 2 pennies and seeing all-time highs. I'm excited, you guys. I haven't sold a single share, you guys. I would be buying more shares if I was in your position. Join the ranks, you guys. Become a Phillionaire. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. I'll see you on the next one.